Do not give what is holy to dogs or throw your pearls before swine, lest they trample them underfoot and turn and tear you to pieces. This is from Matthew 7, and it kind of sounds like there are people that Jesus doesn't want you to share the gospel with. Is there ever a time when you just need to be done with someone? I understand what this feels like. How do you know when it's okay to say that's enough with someone? In other texts, Jesus tells his disciples that if people refuse to listen to them, they're to shake the dust off their feet and move on. But it's hard because you never know what God's going to do with our witness, and we don't want to give up on people. But the key is the other person's mindset. So if I encounter someone who's willing to listen and engage, and that person's open to hearing what I'm saying, and then we can get somewhere. But when someone is only willing to attack or put words in my mouth, or they want to interpret everything I'm saying in the most uncharitable light possible, or they even refuse to engage with what I'm actually saying and they just go right to something else, then at that point in time, we're not getting anywhere. So you just got to be done. I don't want to be just a platform for people to spew their anti-Catholic hatred. And I'm not willing to let something holy be trampled underfoot just because someone can't handle a Catholic who shares about their faith. Now, let me say something else about an accusation that I get sometimes that I delete comments. First of all, it's very rare that I will delete someone's comment on YouTube. YouTube itself sometimes does that. There are certain things that I have put into my channel that are flagged words that if you use them, it will automatically flag your comment. Those are typically profanity. So if you're using profanity, if you're swearing and cursing up and saying vulgar things, I'm not gonna go through all those comments and delete them all. They're just not gonna make it. The other thing that automatically gets deleted is a link. So if you're like, hey, watch this video, blah, 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 and just link, that's not gonna get through to that. Beyond that, the only time I will ever delete somebody's comment is if they are just being mean for the sake of being mean, typically to another person. So if someone comments on a video that I make, says, oh, Keith, I really appreciate this. This really helped me, and I am becoming Catholic next year. And then some guy or girl comes underneath and starts railing on that person who is just expressing something about their faith, but someone else wants to get in there and chew them out. You can attack me. I don't really care, but you're not going to attack others in the comments like that. But just because you disagree with me and you say, hey, what about this? What about that? I'm not deleting those comments, my friends. I'm not doing that. So if that happens, I apologize. That's not my deal. It just kind of happens sometimes. I'm certainly not afraid of being disagreed with. If you've been in here any amount of time, you've seen that. But I'm also not able to personally interact with every single comment that every single person makes. And a lot of times I've addressed a lot of these things in other videos. So if someone's like, well, there's one mediator. Well, I've made like 30 videos about that, it seems like. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. Or, Mary can't hear your prayers. I've made these videos. This is my response to those comments. So I'm not going to have the same conversation under every comment thread just because someone doesn't, watch a video. The other thing I'm not going to do is I'm not your Google either. So if you're like, well, hey, what about this? What about that? If Google is a thing, then use it. I'm not your Catholic Google search bar. So I don't have time to answer every question that everybody has about everything Catholic in the comments. Try to keep it about just that particular video and, be reasonably charitable and open. You don't have to agree. And, I try to respond as best I can. But when we see people who are just going to be spewing anti-Catholic hate, they're going to say, all these mean, horrible things, or they're going to attack me or whatever. Like, you know what? At some point in time, I'm just not going to deal with that. So if that's why you came here, just to be a jerk, then I'm not going to give you a platform just for that. The other thing is we don't need your volumes of essays in the comments. If you're gonna, and this goes for whether you're a Catholic or a Protestant, I'm not gonna sit here and read like a 30-minute comment in a YouTube channel. I'm just in a YouTube comment thread. I'm just not gonna do that. So whatever you want to say, try to say it in a clear, concise way. Say it in a way that references something that we're talking about in the video, or you can share whatever. I mean, you can share whatever you want. I'm just telling you whether or not I'm going to interact with it based on that. But if it's something like super long and just it's going to take a year to do it, then I'm just not going there. So keep that in mind. Now, when you're dealing with people, when you're talking to people, and this is true whether you're a Catholic or a Protestant. So we have a lot of things in common. There's always this mindset that like we're against each other. I don't think we have to be, you guys. If you're encountering someone, you're talking to them about Jesus, whether you're a Catholic or a Protestant, you're going to have the same issues. Some people just don't want to hear the truth about who God is. They don't want to hear the truth about him. And you might feel at times like, I just don't know if I want to keep dealing with this. If they're just going to attack you, they're going to twist what you say, and they're not going to interact with what you say, and they're just there to throw hate at you. Remember, my friends, you're not obligated to become their punching bag for all the things that they hate about Jesus. You don't have to do that. You can say what needs to be said and move on. Pray for that person. And if they're open and they're willing to have that conversation, that's a different thing. Just remember that. I thought about that today when I read that. Do not give what is holy to dogs, or throw your pearls before swine, lest they trample them underfoot and turn and tear you to pieces. Okay, keep that in mind, my friends. And I want to thank all of you for watching these videos, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Hey, that's fine. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys are here. And I really am honored that you take time to watch the videos and leave comments and interact with it, even if you don't agree. I'm okay with that. I'm not someone who's like, well, you have to agree with everything I say or I hate your guts. No, not at all. You guys, you got to remember this. Like, most of my friends, believe it or not, most of my friends are Protestants. And it's because of my history and my life, I didn't become Catholic and cast aside everyone who doesn't think exactly like me. Not at all. And we have great conversations. We have great relationship. And we disagree. And we can talk about it charitably. So that's kind of what I want to have happen here. And if we can do that, praise God. Thank you so much, my friends. Everyone have a great day. Take care, and God bless.